The sell-offs continue as Toronto FC has sold Deybi Flores to Al-Najma SC of the Saudi Pro League, opening up more cap space and an international roster spot as Toronto FC seems to be selling off assets that we have deemed don't hold value for our future development. Deybi Flores came to Toronto FC before the start of the 2024 season, and the task he was given was very simple: replace Michael Bradley. After Michael Bradley had anchored Toronto FC at CDM for 10 seasons and finally retired, Deybi Flores was who was brought in to fill that gap. And given massive shoes to fill and a massively dysfunctional team in almost 2 whole seasons of Toronto FC, it's actually amazing that Deybi Flores has escaped with very little negative feelings towards him. Overall, across 2 seasons of Toronto FC, the Honduran international made 58 appearances for Toronto FC, scoring 3 goals. And to be honest, throughout the whole thing, he did his job. He was probably our best midfielder for his entire tenure with the team. Now, that was not a very high bar to reach, but he definitely was our best, most consistent midfielder throughout the past 2 seasons. Now, whether or not a team that's a true contender in MLS can have Deybi Flores as your top midfielder is a whole other question, but this was 2 of the worst years in the history of Toronto FC, and Deybi Flores really was not given a real shot to thrive with this team. And now with him being 29 years old, it's clear Toronto FC has other ideas of what they want to use their international roster spots on. And obviously we didn't see a spot for Flores in the future of this team going forward, and so, sell him off to Saudi and get whatever assets you can for him. Now, he joins Al-Najma SC in the Saudi Pro League. This is the team that finished 2nd place in the Saudi 2nd Division last season, so they're newly promoted. And overall, looking at their roster, they're probably one of the weaker teams in the Saudi Pro League this season. I mean, Deybi Flores isn't really the typical caliber of international signing for that league. So it seems he's gone from one losing team to another halfway across the world, which, I mean, he's probably getting paid a lot of money to play soccer, but it just kind of sucks that he keeps ending up on losing teams because he's a player that definitely deserves better. And then immediately after selling him, Toronto FC traded off that international roster spot for more general allocation money. But Toronto FC has basically loudly announced that we are not signing any more international players this season, and every international spot we can possibly get rid of is getting traded this summer for the remainder of this season. And honestly, I'm fine with that. For years, Toronto FC hasn't been good. At least this year, we're finally admitting that this is a toss in the towel year after we've bought out Insigne and Bernadeschi, and it's just fully acquire as much allocation money as you can, and next year you can come out and build a actual good competitive team. But now, with all this allocation money that we've been acquiring, the expectations for next season and the transfers that we're going to make in the offseason are going up and up and up and up. And so if the transfers that we make this offseason don't meet up to this hype that we are building by acquiring all this allocation money, before the season even starts, a lot of the fans are going to be gone. Every single move that Toronto FC has made over the last few months has suggested that something massive is coming. And I don't mean massive in terms of like one huge signing. I mean like a complete overhaul of this roster. And so it is coming. Just hold on until this offseason, and I'm so excited to see what actually happens. But for Deybi Flores, I mean, not much to say about him, really. He did his job when Toronto FC sucked, and now he gets to move to Saudi. Hopefully he can perform well there. Hopefully maybe he can help that team not get relegated, but that'll be a very tough challenge for him. He did his job at Toronto FC. None of this was his fault. He just was brought onto a terrible team. Honestly, he was a competent signing for TFC when we got him. It's just not his fault that he was placed onto an incredibly mismanaged, dysfunctional squad. So there you have it. That does it for this video. As always, if you'd like to hit like if you want more of my stuff, hit subscribe. Follow my Twitter, link is down below in the description, and I will see you next time.